Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today in gaming, AMD took a shot at Intel's gaming CPU crown. The Black Ops Cold War beta kicked off with some exciting improvements, the PlayStation 5 memes ruled the internet, and more. AMD came out swinging with the reveal of their next-gen Ryzen CPUs. Built on the Zen 3 architecture, Ryzen 5000 CPUs will start shipping on November 5th and offer a major 29% performance gain over current-gen AMD CPUs. On top of that, they also outperform Intel's current top-of-the-line CPUs in both multi-threaded and single-threaded workloads. While the performance margin isn't extreme, especially in GPU-bound games, it's still a marginal lead that gives AMD the title of the best gaming CPU until Intel responds. Of course, that's all assuming AMD's benchmarks are reliable. As with any hardware reveal, we'll have to wait for third-party reviewers to test Ryzen 5000 CPUs before drawing any real conclusions. As for pricing, this is definitely where AMD is stepping things up. Pricing ranges from $299 for the 6-core 5600X up to $799 for their top-of-the-line 16-core 5950X. The more modestly priced 12-core 5900X is $549, and finally the middle-of-the-road 8-core is the 5800X at $449. That will likely be the CPU most reviewers and consumers gravitate towards, as it offers a nice performance bump up from the more expensive 3700X at a lower price point. For content creators and high-performance gaming enthusiasts, the 5900X or the 5950X will probably seem very attractive. AMD are continuing to iterate with their Zen-based CPUs. There were some significant underlying improvements to the design of their architecture that improved latency and caching performance. So we're not just seeing higher boost clocks and minor tweaks to deliver more power to the CPU cores. In fact, the boost clocks on AMD's new CPUs still aren't breaking 5 GHz. That said, it's likely we'll see 5 GHz and above overclocks on standard coolers with Ryzen 5000 CPUs. AMD also took a moment to touch on their next-gen GPUs, the RX 6000 series. And while they barely showed any real information, they did release this graph showing performance that slightly beats NVIDIA's RTX 3080 in select titles. That said, it's unclear how much of that lead is being created by the GPU or it running in tandem with AMD's new Ryzen CPUs. NVIDIA's new GPUs will obviously benefit from AMD's latest CPUs, so NVIDIA will likely come out on top when the 6000 series launches. Of course, that's kind of to be expected these days, as AMD is much more focused on CPU hardware than their GPUs. Overall, while the presentation was light on real data, we'll have to wait on third-party reviewers to validate AMD's claims. It seems clear that they're going to reclaim the top CPU spot for at least the next few months when Ryzen 5000 launches. Maybe not by a landslide, but certainly by a noticeable margin. The Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War pre-order beta is live on PlayStation 4. It offers 3 game modes, new maps, a ping system, and also introduces several balance tweaks and features. Probably the most notable feature is an FOV slider on console versions of the game. This is a pretty big deal, as adjustable field of view has traditionally been limited to PC games. As more and more console gamers transition away from TVs and start using gaming monitors, the need for adjustable field of view has gotten more and more critical. So it's nice to see a franchise as big as Call of Duty finally offering such a valuable option. In addition to some balance tweaks, all of the game's animations and sound effects got another pass of refinement from what we saw in the alpha. Character animations should seem a bit more fluid and intuitive. Weapon recoil and reload animation should also be a bit smoother. In Modern Warfare news, the bugs that allowed the AS-Val and SPR to grossly outperform every weapon in the game have been fixed. The AS-Val could previously shoot through all surfaces without any damage penalty, and the SPR functioned like a hit scan weapon, removing the need to compensate for bullet drop or travel time in Warzone. Combined, these weapon bugs wreaked havoc on the state of the game. Today's update fixes those issues while also applying some balance tuning to the SPR. It will now ADS slightly faster, but apparently no longer kills in one hit to the head. Hit scan bug aside, the SPR was probably outperforming every sniper rifle in the game, but this particular nerf does seem a little bit extreme. Warzone private matches are also apparently in the works, as players have found a way to glitch into private matches for the Battle Royale mode. People have been asking for Warzone private matches since the mode launched, but Infinity Ward haven't so much as discussed them as a possibility. Hopefully this means we'll be getting that functionality soon. It would be great for creating a more social Warzone experience and giving content creators a way to finally do reliable weapon testing in Warzone, which has different damage multipliers and unique stats that can't be tested reliably due to how Warzone's matchmaking works. An official teardown of the PlayStation 5 confirmed its absolute chungus size yet again, but also demonstrated some smart engineering by Sony. Removing the console's side panels is a toolless process that looks relatively simple and gives users direct access to the PlayStation 5's M.2 SSD expansion slot, as well as ports for vacuuming dust out of the system. Of course, no PlayStation 5 related hardware video would be complete without some good jabs at the console's design. Xbox UK took to Twitter poking fun at the multi-step process for switching the PlayStation 5 stand to a horizontal configuration. The tweet was eventually deleted. The complete teardown of the PlayStation 5's raw component seems pretty approachable, and also revealed the use of liquid metal instead of traditional thermal paste or pads on the APU core running the machine. It's a pretty bold move, as liquid metal is generally reserved for enthusiast-grade overclocking in the PC gaming space. The next Night City wire for Cyberpunk 2077 will focus on the game's vehicles, and it goes live on the 15th. So far, we've seen a lot about the game's other systems like shooting, melee, and the overall world of Night City, but vehicles have been a bit of an enigma. How will you acquire them? How do they handle? Can you compete in races? And much more will likely be answered during this live stream event. Star Wars Squadrons just launched to rave reviews, with many players saying they'd like to see additional story content, ships, or missions added as DLC to the space dogfighting sim. Unfortunately, it sounds like EA have no plans for additional content. The game's creative director said that they didn't build the game with DLC content in mind, so don't expect any significant expansions to either the game's single player or multiplayer, which is kind of a shame considering just how fun and engaging a game of Squadrons actually is. More missions, more multiplayer modes, or even a mission creator system would really give it legs to last for years and years. In our final story today, Mortal Kombat 11 has added an iconic Hollywood action hero to its DLC character roster. John Rambo joins the game, complete with his iconic M60 machine gun and explosive tipped arrows. And while the character likeness to Sylvester Stallone falls into the uncanny valley a bit, it's still a much better representation of the legendary actor than the official Rambo game from a few years back. And that wraps it up for today in gaming. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what story you thought was the most interesting in the comments down below, or if there was a story you think we might have missed. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more gaming news content, and I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap signing off.